All right, we are back and we are live and we shall be ready. So I'll give you ladies 1 minute. Okay, so while we get going, my question to you wonderful people, do you feel prepared at this point to quote someone?
Yeah.
You guys should feel prepared to quote someone. So, what items do you need to be able to quote someone?
Your height and weight chart.
Mm-hmm.
COVID questions answered negatively.
Okay.
Health screening questions.
Okay.
How they getting paid?
Oh yeah,
They got a
bank
bank
paid.
Yes.
They
Yes.
actually want it.
Yes. So everyone wants it. Everyone needs it. It's not about it. One is a need. We are fulfilling a need. So,
It doesn't need.
are you ladies back? Okay. I'll give it another second. One more time.
I was just wondering, like, for the people on the other side, are they like getting, are they like
2 minutes.
Hmm?
I apologize. Ask your question.
I meant like, are they getting like the internet, like somebody requests information and they call them?
Yeah, they're usually submitting a request for something. Who knows? It's several different ways that they receive the lead, but some of them may just have put yes, they were interested. They could have been filling out a survey. They could have been somewhere they did show interest, and within a minute they get a call. So it can be sometimes they call back. It's a couple different things, but typically that's why you want to right from the beginning start fresh. This is who I am. This is what it is. They typically prior to transferring them, they'll ask them a couple questions. That's another reason why I said the 25,000. Don't get stuck on that or any set amounts, because sometimes they come over like, yeah, they said you're going to give me a quote for 25,000. By the time you get into pulling your quotes, don't just be stuck on that. You go according to everything that's happened in the process prior to that point.
What's the average policy that?
Oh, you did start asking that. It doesn't, there is no average policy as far as monthly premium amount. A good range to expect is about $70, $60, $70. It could be higher than that. It could be lower than that, but 60, 70 is usually the average. On average, that's like a good premium. I mean, heck, anything is good to get out of it. Even if you get smaller ones, say you get $3 or $4, $30, $40 premiums, those sometimes are a little easier to swallow. You know, they're going to stick versus somebody that may be a $230 premium. You're excited about it, but it could it's harder to keep up with a $230 payment than it is a $30
They might say, well, I'm gonna drop this one if they absolutely had to.
Not that it doesn't happen, because I've had very large policies that are still effective months, a year. So yeah, but it just depends. But on average, you're looking at about 60 to 70 is roughly a good average. You have another question?
Oh no, I guess it was just a statement. I was thinking about the cost of the funerals that we were talking about yesterday, and it's like you can buy like a brand new car that lasts you years just for the cost of like a day of burial. That's crazy.
That's another thing to keep in mind too, because that is true, and some people want it fancy, some people don't. When you're giving your stories, you don't want to just be mindful of who you're talking to. Make sure it's relatable. You don't want to.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that. I was just thinking.
But no, I mean that's not a bad point, because sometimes that is just to get them thinking about cost. But I say that because there was previously an agent that was just telling about all the bells and whistles about this funeral, and my dad had this casket and it was and if the person that you're speaking to can't relate to that or they want a nice funeral but they know they can't do that, it kind of might make them feel, think about why you're giving your stories and make sure it's going to do what you want it to do. So that wouldn't be the best type of story to tell because it,
You don't wanna make it feel bad.
right. So you want them to think about cost, and yes, it does cost money, but you want to paint a picture of something that they can realistically imagine happening for them. But it does cost money, so we want them to think about that. Now, I asked you all about the things that you need, what items you need in order to successfully quote a caller to make it even to Mod 6, because I want you guys to start getting used to getting the rocks out as far as role playing, getting comfortable, so on and so forth. So, on page, I'm gonna ask you guys a couple of questions, because I want you guys to pull up your prescription list. That's one of the things that you're gonna need. When you're role playing, you will need to check prescriptions. I want you guys to have your script available. And that's really all. And don't stress the prescription list. We're gonna talk about a couple of things because I want you guys to start getting the idea of the quoting logic down. So let's say we have a smoker that has answered yes to, we're gonna go to the health questions. Go to Mod 3, the health questions, if you're looking at your script. Starts on page 6.
I'm talking about the scripts.
The RX provider. If you're on the soft copy of your script, after the health questions, you can click on that to get it and then download it. Because again, it is easier to use the prescription list
How did we get the prescription list again?
on page 7
And so
towards the bottom.
I need the electron.
yeah, on the electronic.
Oh, there's a link.
And then download it.
It's one of the days.
I see. I see. It's okay. We will get through it, and it's Friday.
I'm
So
trying.
it's Friday. We're almost there. Almost
Yes,
there.
that's my favorite Friday. There's no Friday, it's Friday.
Yes. So with the quoting logic, if you guys have someone that uses Vicodin.
I got some of that at home.
Oh, my hair. Every time I see my hair in the shadow, I cringe. You want me to do it for you? I got it. What that wants. So disrespectful.
VIC.
I do. It ain't. You know what? We probably have to put this name. Articulum. So it doesn't matter basically.
Does it?
I don't think.
It's
It's
not
not
coming out. So
then it's not
It
gonna
don't
worry
matter.
about.
I think it's a painkiller.
It is a.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just for,
Look at y'all learning stuff. Okay, so Vicodin is a painkiller. It's not on the prescription list, so proceed. I can't see my ladies. My ladies. Okay. What about sorry. Amlodipine. Do you guys have the medication list?
What's it called?
Amlodipine. AMLO.
For the,
DIPINE. Should be in,
not bad.
Prescription fill within 2 years.
Where you at?
amlodipine.
If it's for a heart condition, it's a modified, if it's prescribed for hypertension, then they are eligible for a level.
But that's to be
Everybody there?
within 2 years of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, but yeah.
I started out with that.
So, what question, Miss Crystal with a C? What question would you ask if the client gave you amlodipine?
What condition are you taking amlodipine for?
What was it prescribed for? And depending on how they answer, then you'll know how to proceed. So anything that comes up, again, that's AMLODIPINE.
That's only if they got it prescribed within the last
Last
2
2
years. If
But
they've
if
been
they're
on it
giving
for
it to
4
you-
years, then we don't have to ask them anything, right?
If they're giving, no, you still want to know. Give me a second.
Oh.
Cause it says in the thing, in the last 5 years,
Yeah.
What thing?
in the script, sorry.
Oh,
Did
girl,
you watch
I'm
the
smart,
page
but I'm
eight?
not on my
Did
reading.
you watch the video?
Yeah, my bad.
Yes.
So amlodipine, if they're giving it to you because they are currently taking this medication, then yes, you are going to ask them why was it prescribed? And they'll let you know, heart condition, or usually it's blood pressure, sometimes it is for the heart, but amlodipine is a frequently used medication, so you want to make sure that regardless of what medication they give you, if there's something that comes up in their follow-up questions, then that's what you're going to, if there's a question or it gives you two options, you're going to want to make sure you ask those questions. Now, when you have access to the prescription or to the portal, you're going to put in the amount of coverage that you are quoting or that you want to get the rates for, and it's going to give you the rates for it level, graded, or modified. So you're just going to want to make sure that if the client is modified, and you're already thinking modified, okay, so they said amlodipine for a heart condition. So in your mind, you're thinking, okay, so they're modified. As you're going through, this is something you're remembering. Whether you jot it down in your notes or however, you know this is a modified client unless something knocks them out altogether or you've already decided it's modified because it's the heart condition. So moving forward, everything about this client is modified, whether it's modified with smokers rates or non-smokers rates. If you know that this medication is going to take a modified, note to self, either in your head, write it down. You want to make sure you're rating them or you're quoting them with modified rates.
So smoker's rate is an addition to.
There will be
so
a
it's not
section.
automatically modified if there's smoker, it's just an additional.
Yeah, so they get modified coverage with or without smokers rates. But smoker, yes or no to smoking will be one of the things that it asks you when you're pulling up your quotes. So anything that you give them, once you put in yes, they're smokers, it's going to be smokers rates. But then you just want to make sure that you are looking at the modified rates and writing down the modified rate so that you have that correct. And then you'll pull another one for, let's say 10,000 was the first one, 10,000 modified is this amount. And the next one will go with, will go down to 8,000 because modified rates, there's usually a big gap between the amounts of coverage. So every $1,000 may jump down $20 or it may jump down $35. Who knows? But it is a nice space between rates because when you give them the three quotes, you don't want to have all $5 apart or all $10 apart. You want it to be arranged so that there is an option or options available for the client. You don't want to have all your quotes so tight that all of them are way too low or way too high, or I don't even know which way to go with that because that's basically the same amount to me. So you want to make sure that you're giving some variation in those amounts. What's another? Calpheron, Calphron.
Ooh.
Calphron.
So if it's for
If it's for
dialysis, no coverage, but if it's just kidney disorder, it's.
So what are you going to, so
For
that
1
comes
year,
up, what are
within-
you,
Within 1 year. I don't know.
so what are you going to ask me if that's a medication that I gave you? Miss Karen, what are you asking me if I gave you Calpheron?
Did you have a kidney dialysis or a kidney disorder?
What was it prescribed for? So, kidney dialysis.
Oh, it was prescribed for kidney dialysis?
No, I'm a
How
little
long?
confused.
And how long ago was your last refill?
It was about 2 years ago now, but I just came across this bottle.
But you haven't been taking it?
No,
Oh, okay. All right, no problem. Thank you. What's the next medication you take?
that's good. So yeah, you ask them and proceed depending on how they answer. Yes, ma'am, Miss Crystal in the back with the K.
Thank you. So if it's in the script 5 years, why does it matter if they've been taking Calpheron for, let's say, 3 years, and it says no coverage for kidney dialysis, but they've been on it for 3 years, so it should be covered, right? But then why does it matter about 5 years? I'm so confused about that.
So you want to ask them if because anything that they've taken in the last 5 years, the med history, the MIB will pull it up. So even though this particular prescription is only asking about a year, there are some medications that the prescription list or the MIB might see that if it's ever taken or it's 5 years, or you just want to know their medical history for 5 years because that's what the MIB is going to pull, and you want to prepare yourself. So that may not disqualify them or change anything, but you want to know 5 years of med history.
Okay, what happens, because in all honesty, Mel, if you ask me my med history over the last 5 years, I could not
You probably
tell
won't remember, which happens, and that's why we call over the underwriting. But the more information that says it in the script, the more information I know, the better I'm able to assist you. So if something does come up, and you've told them 5 years, so that if something comes up that they didn't tell you about and that has been within the last 5 years, you've already given them that heads up. And when underwriting says, well, we see this, oh, yeah, I know that if you have to dance, let's say that it changes them from being level to modified. That's why we try to get everything for 5 years, just so I know how to, what you qualify for. So you've told them that. A lot of times they don't remember, and sometimes things do come up in underwriting. But for the most part, if it's something major, they more than likely will remember. If you know that 4 years ago you were dealing with cancer of the kidneys, or you were on dialysis, or chances are you're very familiar with the medication that you were taking.
I'm just saying, like, for me, for example, with the chronic migraines, I was on a whole medicine cabinet full of medications at one point. There was no way I could even begin to remember all those different things. And then they went away when I got the Botox. So, I mean, I could tell you a small handful, but so that's why I was like.
It helps you prepare, but there are going to be instances where people don't know. These are older people. Chances are, if they've been taking something, they are still taking it, and nothing's changed in 5 years. Or if it was something that they started and are now not taking, either it was an antibiotic or something along those lines, or they have something new that replaced it, which would probably still fall on the prescription list in the same category, if that makes sense. But yeah, you won't know everything because they won't remember everything. But some of them do, especially if they have a lot of medicines. They'll have a list that they'll pull up on their phones, or hold on, let me go
Yeah,
get
they got
it.
11 or something. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I definitely ran into that one. It was in my chair.
And sometimes they'll just have a box with all the bottles and they'll go through them. But that's one of the things we just ask, because you want to get as much information as you can. You want to be as prepared as possible. You won't be able to catch everything, but it might even be something. And sometimes right before underwriting, and you're like, you prep them for underwriting, and then they're like, oh yeah, there was this one, or they just feel more comfortable, and you warn them about underwriting coming up, and they're like, well, actually, I forgot to tell you about this one. Not that they didn't forget, but they didn't want to tell you because you were moving forward, and they're like, good, let's keep going. And they're like, wait, you're gonna call somebody to check? Well, there was this medicine, and then they'll tell you. And sometimes in that moment, you have to requote them. And okay, don't ever ignore it. Pull it up, check it. Make sure that you're not anything that you need to do before underwriting. You want to do it before underwriting and not let it go.
Okay, and then, I know we're over it, but for some reason I did not retain it. What is the difference in coverage between modified and level?
As far as amounts,
Is it just increase the rates? Is that all it's doing?
the rates are more, and when their benefits actually kick in is different too. So modified, there is some stipulation within the first 2 years of how the benefits are paid out. On that cheat sheet in the back of your binder, it'll give you the breakdown. But for modified, that's the one that they get the first year if they pass, then they get 110% of whatever the face amount. 110% of the premiums paid in for the first year, the expected premiums to be paid in the first year. The second year, if they pass, 230% of whatever premiums were supposed to be paid in the second year is what is paid out. But level is immediate coverage. If they pass after their first premium, then those funds are immediately paid to the beneficiary.
Okay, and so on modified, if it's after 2 years, then they get the
The
policy,
face.
the face value.
And if it's accidental from day one of paying their premium, if they pass due to an accident, then the full face amount is
Whether
paid
it's
out.
modified or level.
Modified, graded, or let's get money. So modified, level, graded, or modified as far as the order of coverage. Yes? Crystal with the C, you good? Okay.
Just listen.
So I want you guys to pair up Miss Madison and Miss Andrea. We're gonna do some role playing because I want you guys to get used to reading out the script. You're gonna run it one time through. Each person read it through. Don't give each other a hard time. Simple no answers are fine. We just want you to get through the script at least one time from mod 1 through 7. You can stop it after you present the quotes. So when you get to the quoting, you're gonna do each scenario. First, you'll pick an option right off bat. Secondly, you'll think about it a little bit. And then thirdly, you will not pick an option so that the agent, whoever's playing agent, can have a chance to hit each of the responses after you select your quote. So, yes, you follow? So main objective is to get through it. Don't feel stressed, don't feel rushed. This is one of a million times the first of a million times that you're going to be going through the script out loud. So role play number 1 of a million so it's more just getting the marbles out. So don't overthink it, or you're really just trying to get through the read aloud. I'm going to take half of you out because if we're all in here reading it, Lord have mercy. So we will.
Are we doing like going through the whole report building as well?
Yes, build rapport. Yep. You can, so for this initial role play, you can spend 5 minutes on the rapport build just because this is more so just to get through the first read. But going forward with even the rapport build, you're going to want to get used to stamina, finding things to talk about, actually spending 10 to 15 minutes in the rapport build. It's, I don't know if it's easier or harder with the role playing to do the rapport, but with the beneficiary section in mod 4, use this time to get used to telling your story, regardless of what end you're on, whether you're giving a story as the client or giving a story back as an agent. You want to use all your stories while we're in here role playing so that you can tweak them and start getting used to saying them. So don't get too used to using the same story. So I'm going to pair you guys up. So you will be receiving a phone call or making a phone call both of you, on all of you, because one person will be live, the other person will be on the phone. Give me 2 seconds to process what I just said and get you guys in pairs. I had it going until I looked at y'all and it's like, oh, it's a lot of uses. Okay, so we will have an agent A and an agent B. I want to keep it so that before the end of the week, you've had a chance to, you're not going to be role playing with the same person twice at all, because I want you guys to get used to hearing each other. Ooh. So, Miss Crystal with the K, you will be paired up with Miss Susan. Miss Crystal with the C, you will be paired up with Miss Andrea. Miss Toy, you will be paired up with Miss Madison. Miss Hannah, you will be paired up with Miss, who am I missing? Karen. Is that 8 of you guys? Ooh, that is 8 of you guys. K-A-R. Okay. So round 1 of role plays, you know who you're paired up with? Nobody knows?
Yes.
Okay, so if I called your name first, you are the agent. So Crystal with the K, you are the agent. Well, both Crystals are the agent. Miss Toy, you are the agent. Miss Hannah, you are the agent. Karen, Miss Madison, Miss Andrea, and Miss Susan, you guys will be the client. Remember, you're going to pick all of the options with, or, give all the scenarios when it comes up into choosing your quotes. We're not going to give any yes answers to the health questions. We want to get through with clean nose for this round. After you are the agent, then you're going to switch roles and then be the client. So if you guys want to let me know once you finish running through it one time, because depending on what the time is, I might let you guys take a break, or you might go 2 rounds, agent, then client, and then we all take a break and then come back and repair. But you guys will finish in different orders. Again, 5 minutes in the rapport build roughly, and move along, because I want you guys to get through. Yeah, don't spend much time in the rapport build for this first go round. So anyone that is, half of you guys will be the agents that stay in here. So the 2 Crystals stay in. Miss Toy and Miss Hannah, you're going to come out. And Miss Susan, you're gonna come out too. Onto the floor. We're gonna find stations out there,
Wait,
so
you
we're
just
not,
said me and Crystal stay in, but you paired me with Susan.
we're gonna be on the phones. I'm just a lot of y'all. Me too. So
Yeah, because I'm paired with a remote agent.
right. So are you. So that makes it easy for me. And you guys can actually step out of the room. Actually, that makes it easy. Miss Crystal and Miss Toy, come step out with me. You and you. We're gonna go out here. The 4 of y'all can stay in here. That makes it easy. I'm gonna cut the live off just so you guys aren't hearing all of this and it be too much going on, but I'm going to have your agents give you a call. So be available, please, and thank you. Maybe even Zoom. Give me 5 minutes to get you guys set up, and I'll call or text you guys and tell you how you're gonna be reaching out to your partner. No, you are the client this round, Miss Madison. Both of you guys are clients this round. All right.